Friends, welcome to episode number 63 of It'll Be Fine. I'm your friend Kelly Zimnikas, and I predict by the end of this episode my hair may take up the whole screen. It's very humid. My hair keeps growing. Can't stop, won't stop. That's all good. Anyhow, on today's show. Oh, I'm so glad you're here today. I'm glad you're here any day. But today we're having a wonderful chat with the very funny, the very fabulous, my friend, Donna Landy. Yay! Donna is coming to us from her home in England, so we are hopping across the pond to have a talk about eating right during times of pandemic and quarantine, which is a hard thing to do, but Donna is nailing it, so she's sharing her tips. We're going to talk about, parents and kids and life. This is a good day. I'm very glad you are here today. Here's the crazy thing with Donna. I find this wild. Donna's only ever done stand-up in the medium of Zoom and online. Is that crazy? I cannot wait for the day where she is able to be in a club, be immersed in the whole experience, and crush it, as I know she will do. Yay! I'm looking forward to today. Donna also has great hair, so I feel like my hair just had to be on point. So I'm glad it's humid, because it looks curly and big. On today's show, by the way, guys, we are offering some love and offering some attention to a fantastic initiative called Dog Is My CoPilot. Here's what this charity is doing. They're taking animals, like dogs, from one city where shelters are full, no one's really adopting, and then they're flying them to cities where people want to add a wonderful new family member to their home. I think they're doing such a great thing. Dog Is My CoPilot. Look into the show description. Help them out if you are able. Guys, you've got Kelly, you've got Donna, you've got two gals with great hair. It's gonna be fine.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
I had to make sure the hair was on point with yours today because I'm jealous of your curls.
Oh, thank you.
I have.
And now I've got makeup envy because you've made yourself up and you look great, and I'm thinking, but
You look great. You always look great. I find my whiteness blends into the cabinetry. So
I was like me yesterday trying to do a virtual background, and because it's all white behind me, the background was fine, but I disappeared everywhere. I was white. I disappeared. I was the background. That was like.
That has been my biggest pet peeve with trying to navigate how to do a background, because for some shows they require, for a club they want the background to look a certain way, which is fine. I find the whites of my teeth blend in, so I have to stand so it's like that, or the whites of my eyes disappear and it looks really spooky. Some people do cardboard paper, green cardboard paper, and just make a wall.
Oh.
So it's fun. You can get your inner crafting genius out with making a Zoom background, which is kind of cool.
I thought you said the sound is a little bit muffled. I thought you said your inner cracked end genius, and I was like, wow, that's something I never knew. I never knew I had one of those. That's
That should be the name of your Netflix special. If you ever get one. Cracked end genius. I'll go get my headphones. It might help.
okay, great.
Yeah, that's another thing that will disappear in a Zoom background is my headphones, because they're white. I feel like I have to put colored tape on them. So much we have to do.
What is a girl to do?
Now, how long have you been doing stand-up for?
Well, I started June the 1st. That was my first gig this year. So June, July, August, 3 months.
It blows. I find it so fascinating to see a performer who's only done it in this medium. Yourself, and there was a fellow I did an improv show with, and he had only ever done improv on a Zoom screen, which blows my mind, because stand-up, at least you hold your own. You're up there with your material, you do your thing. But with improv, you're so dependent on other people in the room. Is there excitement for you about being in a club doing stand-up, or does that not even?
Oh God.
Yeah.
Look, you don't know anything about. I used to work in this place called Cirencester. It's in the middle of
Okay.
England, and they have a club there once a month, and it's about 100 people who go,
Okay.
and there's drink is flowing, and
Mm-hmm.
it's in this basement cellar that's like an arched, vaulted brick basement cellar. It's like a
Ooh.
World War II bunker, and they do the comedy in there, right? And it's
cool.
whenever I visit Cirencester, that's the hotel where I stay. So when I was back recently for one overnight, I snuck down to the cellar through all the no entry COVID-19 blah signs, and I stood. It was completely empty. I stood where the stage was, and I did my ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cirencester Comedy Club thing, because I am going to compare that night. That is what I'm going to do.
Oh my gosh, I got goosebumps. That's crazy that you did that. Oh, I cannot wait to find out how that experience will be for you, because going from doing stand up in a room with people, sometimes a lot of people, sometimes just a guy asleep at a bar, it's it's such a different experience. This is for me, Zoom has been such a great variation on the theme and a different way to do it. And then, I'm so excited for you. I
can't wait.
Hopefully soon.
Me and some of the students who did the course with me back in June.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing, I call it guerrilla comedy. We're going to a park in London.
Okay.
And I'm going to have a little amplifier in my suitcase.
Yep.
And we're just going to pop up comedy right there on the spot.
That's been happening a fair bit in Toronto, and now we are allowed to go to bars and clubs in very small groups, very limited. You have to really plan ahead. But those outdoor shows have been happening for a bit, and who doesn't like surprise stand-up?
Well, luckily Taya lives near the park, so she's going to invite some friends. But otherwise, yeah. Imposing comedy on people. It's a new genre, right?
Oh, just wait until you're at a pub doing a show where none of the patrons knew there was a show coming. It's the best. Now, you've been eating pretty healthy while at home, have you not?
I have. I decided.
Do tell. What have you been doing?
I've been doing Slimming World for a couple of years, and I've lost a lot of weight. I mean,
cool.
Very early on, I lost like 2 pounds in 1 week because I stopped wearing my prostheses, my breast prostheses. So that was a real easy win, that one. I tried to tell them, I said, listen, you've got to adjust it somehow. It's not fair I can just like shed 2 pounds. And then, because they're like 500 grams each.
Oh my gosh.
They were like, no, sorry, there's just no way of adjusting it. You're going to have to take that one. I was like, okay, fine,
yeah.
if I have to. So yeah, but it's been going well. I mean, I got to say, Slimming World is great because in theory, you don't have to go hungry. Once you've worked out what you can eat, and I don't do hungry thing.
Okay.
I can't stand it. So you can eat unlimited amounts of pasta and lean meat and chicken and fish and potatoes. There's lots of things that you just got to stay away from, all the chocolate and the crisps and the things you normally snack at your desk in an office.
Like
cake,
this.
Birthday cake, exactly.
Yeah.
So my savior is this. These are called hi-fi bars.
Oh, crunch me. Lovely.
In the UK, so I'm going to have my tea on my china.
Yes, that's beautiful. Nice.
Because I love chocolate. I mean, these are sort of chocolatey, but they're not really bad for you. So.
Yeah. Is it dark chocolate or is it more like carob?
No, this is actually, it is real chocolate. And this has got like crunchy honeycomb. There's lots of different flavors. These are my favorite: crunchy honeycomb and fruit and nut. And they've all fruit and nut. They've all got these really sexy names.
They really do, yeah.
And what's this one called?
Crunch Me.
Ooh, blimey.
Oh, hello.
Don't mind if I do.
I will say though, like I do find when you maybe change your food focus for a bit, maybe some people do like, a few weeks of like a detox or what have you. I always find like the world opens up for all the other kind of foods that are out there that can satisfy a sweet craving, that can sort of satisfy the itch that this, you know, junk brings you. It just gets you thinking differently about food, which I think is awesome, you know, because
yeah, yeah, we're very narrow focused on what.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. You kind of, you know, stick to like, oh, I'm only going to ever have this. I'm not going to try that because I've never had it before. Well, then how do you know if you like it or not if you've never had it before?
Exactly.
You know?
I ended up trying out these gluten-free crackers, but I got them for my ex.
Okay.
And they're
It just sounds funny.
She's gluten-free. We're very friendly still. We bring up our kids together.
For sure.
Yeah, you have the gluten-free ones. Yeah. I've gone down from 13 stone, 13 pounds.
Okay.
Oh, I can't work that out in American. I'm sorry.
Not sure. No, it's okay. It sounds
But
good.
now,
You said you went down, so that's good.
Down to 166 pounds. I've lost like 20 pounds.
That's fantastic.
I'm really happy, and I'm getting into my clothes that used to fit me a year ago. I'm like, this is baggy.
Is that not the best feeling? Oh, it's when you can like, when you're not like really like into like a skirt or a dress or something, and it just feels good, and you can sit and you don't feel like you're gonna faint. You know? It's the best, because we all do that. We all put on that outfit to like, oh, I'm gonna look amazing. I'm gonna go out to dinner with, you know, whomever. I'm gonna be seen, and then you sit for the meal and you're like, you know.
Oh, where to go? You're fainting.
Are you okay, Kelly?
The shoes that are killing your feet.
Yeah, that is one thing as a woman, I'm not a shoe girl. I'm just not. I like my runners. I like my high heel boots. That's it. I own 6 pairs of shoes. That's all I have. I can't do the bad footwear, but I'll try to stuff myself into a skirt.
My guilty pleasure is I buy clothes which are about 30 years too young for me, like the 20-year-olds should be wearing, like Boohoo and Misguided and all these young things, and I love them. I wear them. I just scandalize everyone, and they all look at me like, "What are you wearing?" I'm like, "Fuck you, I don't care."
Oh my gosh, that is
That's
so.
the thing about being trans. You get so used to being stared at in the street for years on end. You know, in the end, you don't care. Or if you do, you wouldn't do it. You know.
That is true.
It's really liberating.
Yeah.
I recommend it.
It's funny.
When I'm writing comedy,
yeah.
When I know that I've got a really good line is when I know, oh my God, Donna, you can't possibly say that. That's outrageous. Then I know I've got an absolute fucking killer.
Yeah. No, No, you raise a very good point. Going back to like the fact that when you say you take the boob prosthetics off and then 2 pounds are gone, I find when I'm losing weight and like I actively try to like you can't see it with where the camera is, but like the hips and, you know, around the waist, but always the first bit of weight to go is the boobs. And I have like no boobs. I've been small my whole life. There's never been much here. And I'm like, do you really need to take it from there?
I know. Like, could you not down there? Come on.
There's more.
I've heard this, and I'm like, because I'm trying to grow mine, and I think they're still growing. Yeah. And I know that eating a really low-fat diet doesn't really help.
No, you need this, but I'll send you some.
What's it called to do? It's one of these. Well, we should discuss that on my Saturday night program. How to grow your boobs. How to lose weight, but not off your boobs.
Oh, if you can figure that out, let the world know, please. Oh my gosh.
It's just hormones.
No? Okay.
What would you do? Lie down
well,
on the couch.
I'm thinking like hormone therapy.
Lie down on the couch and tell me all about your breast problem.
Just think about them, then they'll grow. No, I meant like hormone therapy is what I meant. To let them. Okay. Now, here's something. Maybe a stupid question. As you started hormone therapy, has food cravings changed? Has that done to like what your palate gravitates towards? Just out of
Not that
curiosity.
I've noticed. I think 2 years of Slimming World and not eating a high-fat diet has really changed I don't like high-fat food anymore. I used to love it, and I'd be like, oh, I'd love to eat that fatty lamb, or
Yeah.
But now I'm like, ooh, no, just give me something lean, much nicer.
Oh
I
my
know.
goodness.
So
Okay. And because for a Brit, that's an accomplishment, because there's some good deep fried goodness over there in England.
oh my God, I was thinking about that because we have an obesity crisis over here, really,
Yeah.
and I don't think that's really helped our COVID death toll at all. And what to do about it. And someone was saying on a chat the other day, it's like, well, healthy food is expensive, and it is. Fresh fruit and vegetables are expensive.
Yeah.
The cheapest stuff is like deep fried Mars bars,
Right. Right. Exactly.
So
Yeah.
it's quite sad, really. And people are forgetting how to cook, and so who knows what will happen. Hopefully we can come out the other side healthier. Would be great.
Well, that's definitely been my plan of attack this whole time. I've been trying to eat better, make sure my vitamin D is up there. And I'm going through perimenopause. So my body is starting to like do weird shit, on its own, because that's the joy of going towards menopause. Yay. Super fun. But yeah, I've been trying to eat healthy just to gain my strength. Should God forbid, knock on wood, I get it, I get COVID. I want to be like as healthy as possible in general, but especially now because we're so at risk for, whatever can come our way. But I will say that I have dipped into the comfort food and the junk food every now and then, just to mentally switch it up and pretend like it's February. Back then. which is kind of nuts. But what have you been making at home that you've really loved doing? Is there like a fish dish you dig, or like some chicken or something like that?
I've gone through phases. I'm a bit. Oh, do you ever find this, that you kind of discover a recipe that's really good and then you cook it to death because I really like it? And I'm bored of that now. So there was sweet and sour chicken in the oven with like honey and oyster sauce and soy sauce and a bit of vinegar. And, yeah, beautiful. And then when you bake it nice and it goes all sticky, it's beautiful.
Oh, I want some of that now. That sounds really good.
My standbys, they're like, you get the 5% fat beef mince, and you make meatballs, stick them in the oven.
Ooh.
If you can be bothered to do them in the pan, better, but
yeah,
it takes more time. And then you make a nice tomato sauce and some pasta. That with parmesan, beautiful, easy, quick, lovely.
Amazing. Oh, that's so good. Do your kids eat as well as you do, or are you sort of smarter
they
than
suffer in my house because they have to eat my food. They don't like it as much as mummies. It's funny, but if it's in the house, I eat it. So I just don't have those sort of things. I mean, I do buy them sweets and stuff and crisps.
Yeah.
They have, and
yeah.
But Jem, by and large, but the good thing is when they're here, they eat loads of fruit. They sit there and they'll work their way through a box of tangerines rather than sitting there and eating a whole packet of crisps. Which is brilliant.
That's great. Wow, a whole box of tangerines.
Well, it takes a couple of sittings, but sort of, But I get that whole pile of peels. It's like vitamins in the kids. Great.
That's awesome. How old are your kids?
15 and 11. Girls. So I'm very lucky.
They grow up so fast.
Not half, and especially during lockdown. My mum's been quite ill, and she's had this. Have you heard of long-term COVID thing?
Yes.
Canada?
Yep. I've got a friend who's got it. Yep.
Oh, isn't it terrible?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's got it bad, and so they've been kind of left to their own devices a lot, and they've grown up like 2 years in 3 months. It's quite astonishing.
Wow.
Really. My God. But I think it's fair to say lockdown has aged us all. When lockdown started, my eyebrows were black, and now look at them.
My hair wasn't this color when lockdown started. It's done crazy things.
Like most of the way down, and now look at it. I had to dye the roots dark. What can I say? You know?
That is fair. What has the wardrobe been around the house for you during? Because have you been able to go to work, or you've been home pretty much?
Oh no, I haven't had to. I haven't had to go into the office, and it's been brilliant.
Nice.
It's been fantastic. I've had a great lockdown. I'm working from home. My kids, I see my kids every day. I get
Amazing.
everything delivered because I've got no spleen. I'm on the most wanted list. So, you know, the one day that I got this. Rosa May, the youngest, was coming over. There was this ring at the door, and it's 2 flights up, so I've got a buzzer. There's this ring at the door, and I go, "Oh, hello, darling." And this voice comes up, "Hello, love. I've got 3 parcels down here for you." Oops.
That's okay. It's all right.
Good.
Yeah, for sure. I know folks have been wearing a lot of like pajama bottoms, or maybe not doing any pants while at home. I have to say, since March, I've been wearing shorts. I don't usually walk out in public in shorts because I don't like my legs, but around the house, it's been shorts all the time.
Fantastic.
It's been great.
Liberation at last for your legs.
A little herb vegetable garden on my balcony. Do you do any of that stuff at home? Do you have any like tomatoes growing, or?
I have brown fingers. If you want it to die, give it to me. I could just about keep cut flowers alive for a couple of days. That's as big as it gets.
Oh no!
I know, but I have got into flower arranging recently. I've really enjoyed that. It's really nice.
Oh,
I've been
that's
getting some.
awesome.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, that would look nice. I like that, and put that one at the back. And
Yeah. Would you ever step into that? Like, I don't do this, but like edible flowers, and you could put them on a salad or something. Do you go for that kind of stuff, or are you just more simple with your food?
Yeah, I'm a bit more like, I'm a Capricorn, so things, utility is kind of the virtue with Capricorns. But I'm getting a bit more into beauty. I can appreciate a bit of that.
Yeah, I love the look of it, but I still mentally, I'm like, oh, can I eat that flower? Is that poisonous? Like,
my mental thing when I see it there, it's like, what the fuck is that doing on there? It's a salad, not a fucking bouquet. Jesus Christ. What were you thinking?
Exactly.
We got a florist in the kitchen instead of a chef. What's happening tonight?
What would you say is your perfect date food? What would you say is a great meal to make for someone now that you're on this new diet, new health, new lifestyle? What would be a Donna date meal? What would you make?
If I was having my date over to my house?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I guess I could do my famous meatballs and tomato sauce. It's a bit boring, but at least I know it works, and I don't have to think about it, and I can cook it in advance. Whereas if I went fancy and went all steak or something, I'd be all flustered about, am I going to cook it right? She asked for medium rare. Oh my God, I've made it medium. You've got to pay attention to the steak and not your date. So I think
exactly.
I think I'd go meatballs and pasta.
You know what that brings to mind for me? Hold on for 1 second. Tiny apartment. I don't have to run far. But steak and meatballs and pasta for dinner reminds me of this.
Oh, yes, of course. I'll have to get some spaghetti in. And we can... I was going to say, what, a date? A date? What the freaking hell is a date?
Do you remember dates? We had them back in the old times in February.
Oh my God. I can't imagine having a date or who I would have it with, frankly.
Oh gosh. I've had one date during COVID.
One date?
One date, yeah.
Good. And how did it go?
It was fucking awesome. We had seen each other off and on last year, and I am not I wouldn't describe myself as a huggy person. I enjoy a good handshake. That's kind of how I roll. But we hugged, and I felt like Jesus had visited. Like it was so surreal. I because I hadn't had human touch in so long, you know. But yeah, I've had one date. I'll hang on to that. That was good.
Wow, that's amazing. What an amazing feeling there at the end to have that feeling from the hug.
It was. I stepped away and he looked at me and he was like, "The look on your face right now is I can't describe." It blew my mind. That hug blew my mind. That was like the best kiss you've ever had kind of feeling. It was crazy.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is amazing.
Yeah, it was in July. So it's been a month since my date. And I hadn't had a hug since March.
Oh my God, it's making me cry almost.
Isn't that crazy?
I know.
I gotta say the first pizza delivery I ordered, start of lockdown, I almost jumped on the pizza delivery guy. I was so happy to see someone. A human.
Don't go yet. I've still got about 17,000 more words I need to use up. Please stay. Oh, talking of desperation, like, do you do online shopping and supermarkets and that over there, or do you go in person?
I go in person. I'm near a lot of like tiny little fruit and vegetable markets. So my grocery experience has been leaving the apartment. I have not, although that's a lie. I do every couple of weeks order a meal kit. So I'll get a box with food and then like recipe cards is what I'll do. I do that twice a month. I'll do that.
That's fun. Do you find that expands your repertoire of dishes that you cook?
Absolutely, because you get to keep the recipe cards, right? So I can take them and then go to the grocery store and then get those things again. So I'm learning how to make different kinds of sauces or treat, marinades in a different way. And for me, I did that because I signed up at the start to keep me out of the public for that first couple of months. I didn't want to be, because I grocery shop, like I'll wake up, I'll be like, I'm going to go to the store, I'll see what, I'm feeling, and then I'll make something based on that. So I don't make a list. I just go and sort of like go where the aisles take me kind of thing. So I thought for my own health and safety, I'll do a meal prep kit and then I'll just stay out of the shops for a bit and I won't, put myself at risk that way. And I'm going to keep up with it for a bit because it's been kind of cool because I love being in the kitchen,
Yeah.
So
Same.
it's been good. Yeah. Have you always been in the kitchen? Like, were you a kid who like mucked about where grandparents or parents were?
Yeah, I wanted to be around my mom and cooking and washing up, and
Awesome.
that was my place really.
Yeah. What's a dish that brings your mother to mind? Like when you think of something, you're like, oh, that's mom.
Resentment. My mum
Best
hated
served
having
cold.
to cook. Yes, cold. She hated having to cook. She didn't like it. She's quite a tomboy, my mum. She did, bless her, for years and years.
Yeah.
But my dad's really the one who likes cooking and enjoys it and is into it. So I get
exact same in my house.
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, my dad is the one you go to for a good apple pie, for a really awesome like dish on the barbecue, for a cocktail, for sewing. Go to dad. Mom, that's when your car breaks down. That's when you call mom.
Really?
Swear to God. Yeah. It was so kind of funny. But yeah, no, my dad is great in the kitchen. And even when I was a kid and I'd buy like, what we used to call like a TV dinner, like a dish you'd put in the microwave. My dad was always encouraging me to like add a spice to it or add something to it and like change it a bit. So yeah, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I got it's just really nice. I mean, this year, it's difficult with parents sometimes. I mean, I found it's quite difficult with my parents. There's always anyway, this year I was so glad that we'd survived. I mean, touch wood, that I bought my dad this really expensive bottle of wine for his birthday, and it arrived, and it's not often that he's like, "Wow, oh my God," kind of thing. And he really was. He's like, "Well, when do you want me to drink?" I said, "Whenever you like." Yeah. How about this Friday night? I'm going to make a bit of lamb and I'm going to cook it. Do you think it'll be all right if I cook the lamb like this in the oven and da da da? and it was all perfect, and he was just gushing out.
Awesome.
It was so nice to hear him like that.
Oh, that's nice. I love that.
And you get into this kind of mania, don't you? When you've been alone for a while, you get.
Yeah.
It's kind of, is it just me who's been talking to herself? Surely not. I mean,
I have been talking to myself since 1998, so it's fine.
but out
Mine.
loud. Oh, good.
Oh,
Yeah. Out
yeah.
loud.
The
I was going into
danger.
the kitchen. I went into the kitchen. I'm a bit drunk, right? Going to the kitchen, and I'm like, okay, I want ice, I want a sausage, and I want some more Coke, bitch. And I was like, what the fuck? Ooh, I like it when he's dirty to me.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
So that's gone into one of my sets where I just kind of play it out. You know, I ask myself what I'm wearing, send myself a rude picture, block myself.
Oh my God.
It's like, I love it.
And the truth is, like, days are melding into one. I was convinced today was Friday. It's Thursday. It's like,
Yeah.
but I probably could send a photo to myself and legitimately not know it was from me. Right?
I would just hope I actually did send it to myself and not my mum.
You're like, Donna? Everything okay?
She'd show it to my dad. I think there's something wrong with my phone.
And Dad's like, good thing we have the wine.
Oh.